In the ancient land of Mutsu, a young samurai named Ryuji was renowned for his skill with the sword. Trained rigorously by his father since birth, his prowess was legendary, matching even the most seasoned warriors. Yet, for all his skill, Ryuji felt a deep sense of unease. He had been taught that honor was found only on the battlefield, that his worth was measured in combat. One day, he was summoned by the great warlord of the Ashu region, Date Masamune, a man known as much for his wisdom as for his military genius. Ryuji expected to be led into a war council to discuss strategy and tactics. Instead, Masamune welcomed him into a breathtakingly beautiful and tranquil garden. Cherry blossoms floated on the breeze, and the air was thick with the calming scent of incense. This was a place of reflection, not conflict. Ryuji was confused. Why would the great Masamune bring him here? A warrior's place was on the battlefield, not admiring flowers. Seeing the young samurai's bewilderment, Masamune spoke. "You are a fine warrior, Ryuji. I can see it in your eyes. But tell me, do you know why I've brought you to this garden, instead of my war room?" Bowing respectfully, Ryuji replied, "Master Masamune, I do not. I am a warrior. Shouldn't we be discussing matters of war?" Masamune smiled, his one eye twinkling with insight. "Ah, that is the very heart of the matter. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war." The words hung in the air, their meaning just out of Ryuji's grasp. "Master, what do you mean? How can a warrior be in a garden? And what use is a gardener in war?" Masamune gestured to a stone bench. "Look at this garden, Ryuji. It is a place of peace and beauty, but it exists only through careful preparation. The gardener knows when to plant, when to water, when to prune. Without this constant readiness, the garden would wither away." He paused, letting the point settle. "The same is true for a warrior. If you train only for war, you become like a gardener suddenly thrust onto a battlefield, overwhelmed, useless, and unprepared. But if you are a warrior who has also cultivated your mind and spirit, like a gardener tends his plants, you will be ready for any challenge, in war or in peace." Understanding dawned in Ryuji's eyes. So, being a warrior isn't just about fighting, it's about being prepared for anything? Exactly, Masamune confirmed. A true warrior understands balance. You must be ready for battle, but you must also be prepared to live with purpose when there is peace. Your strength is not defined by the battlefield alone, but by your ability to adapt to any situation with composure and skill. It is better to be a warrior in a garden, cultivating patience and wisdom, than a gardener in a war, completely unprepared for the chaos. Ryuji stood in silence, the warlord's lesson echoing in his mind. He had spent his life sharpening his blade, believing his value was tied to combat. Now, he saw a deeper truth. The greatest skill wasn't just wielding a sword, but having a mind ready for all of life's challenges, whether fought with steel or with wisdom. "Go back to your training, young warrior," Masamune said, his gaze full of approval. "But remember, it is not enough to sharpen your blade. You must also sharpen your mind and your spirit. Only then will you be truly ready." Ryuji bowed deeply, his heart overflowing with gratitude. He left the garden that day a changed man. He continued to train, becoming an even greater warrior. But he also dedicated himself to study, to patience, and to a life of balance. He became known not just for his martial skill, but for his profound wisdom. And he often shared the lesson he learned that day, a truth that guided his entire life. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of wisdom and strength. Until next time, stay prepared.